Behind the frozen lands and skies that are rarely fully dark or bright lies an unimaginable way of life. The Arctic region, stretching in a circle around the North Pole, encompasses northern parts of Canada, Russia, Greenland, Norway, Iceland, Alaska, and other Nordic countries. Extreme climates, unpredictable weather, and months-long nights are part of daily life. Yet amid these harsh conditions, small communities choose to survive, to build, and to preserve their cultures in places that might seem uninhabitable to the rest of us. Here are 10 of the most remote towns and villages in the Arctic, places that test the very limits of human endurance and independence. Kaktovik is a remote village located on Barrow Island, along Alaska's northern coast. The village has around 250 residents, mostly from the Inupiat people who still uphold strong traditions of hunting bowhead whales and caribou. The name Kaktovik means place to fish, referring to its history as an important bartering hub between the Inupiat and Canadian Inuit before the 20th century. Access to Kaktovik is highly limited, only reachable by small plane from Fairbanks or Utqiaġvik. Located within the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, Kaktovik is known as the polar bear capital of the U.S. Each fall, polar bears gather on the shoreline to feed on leftovers from traditional whale hunts, making the village a unique destination for visitors eager to witness Arctic wildlife up close. Located in northeast Greenland, Ittoqqortoormiit is one of the most isolated settlements on Earth, with a population of about 350. Geographically situated between sea ice and frozen tundra, access is limited to helicopter or small aircraft to Nunavut Airport, or by sea, which is only possible for about 2 months each year. The name Ittoqqortoormiit means big house dwellers in East Greenlandic and was formerly known as Scoresbysund. The village still lives by traditional hunting practices, with residents relying on seals, polar bears, and fishing for survival. Despite the extreme conditions, the people here continue their way of life, passed down through generations. Ittoqqortoormiit is not just a place to live. It is a powerful symbol of how humans can coexist with the raw and unforgiving Arctic wilderness. Kivalina is a small village of around 400 people situated on a narrow barrier island in the Chukchi Sea, Alaska. Accessible only by small plane or boat during summer, the village is known not only for its Arctic beauty, but as a symbol of the global climate crisis. It is expected to be underwater before 2030 due to rising sea levels and coastal erosion. The Inupiat community here has lived traditionally for hundreds of years, including being the only group in the area still practicing bowhead whale hunting. But the melting sea ice that once shielded the village now exposes it to increasingly dangerous storms and waves. Despite an uncertain future, Kivalina's residents endure, preserving their ancestral culture while planning relocation efforts to save their community. Anadyr is a small city with around 13,000 residents located at the far eastern edge of Russia, near the Bering Strait. As one of the easternmost cities in Eurasia, Anadyr sits at the mouth of the Anadyr River, facing the vast, ice-bound Bering Sea for much of the year. It has no road connections to other settlements, with access only by a small airport or ship from Vladivostok, dependent on seasonal conditions. Buildings in Anadyr are painted in bright colors as a psychological countermeasure to the long, dark, and bitterly cold winters. This vibrant design makes Anadyr a symbol of human resilience in the subarctic. Nestled in a treeless tundra, the city is isolated yet crucial as the administrative and port center for the Chukotka region. The silence of the ice and the bold colors of the town create a striking contrast at the edge of the world. Longyearbyen is a small town of about 1,400 people on the island of Spitsbergen in Svalbard. This is not just a remote settlement, it is the northernmost town in the world with a permanent administrative structure. The town is accessible via a small international airport, making it one of the farthest places on Earth that remains globally connected. Longyearbyen is a hub of scientific and ecological importance, home to the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, a secure underground facility built to safeguard global biodiversity against disaster. The tundra climate, presence of polar bears, and prolonged polar night don't stop the town's life, which moves to the steady rhythm of Scandinavian resilience. Longyearbyen is not just a symbol of human survival in the Arctic, but a beacon of knowledge and hope for the planet's future. Alert is a small outpost on Ellesmere Island, Canada, and holds the title of the northernmost permanently inhabited settlement on Earth. Located just 817 kilometers from the North Pole, it is home to about 50 people, mainly military personnel and scientists stationed there on rotating assignments. Access is limited exclusively to military aircraft, making it one of the most remote locations on the planet. The climate is extreme. Temperatures can plunge below the 40-degree, and the sun disappears for 4 months each year, only to be replaced by another 4 months of constant daylight. Founded in 1950 as part of Canada's defense and intelligence network during the Cold War, Alert continues to serve a strategic role and now hosts a global atmospheric monitoring station. Though it has no permanent civilian population, human presence has been continuous here for over 7 decades. Barentsburg is a Russian settlement under Norwegian jurisdiction, located on the island of Spitsbergen, just 55 kilometers from Longyearbyen. This former coal mining town is home to around 450 people, mostly Russians and Ukrainians. Reaching Barentsburg is not easy. Visitors must travel by boat or snowmobile from Longyearbyen. The town retains a strong Soviet atmosphere, with Russian language, a statue of Lenin, and architecture reminiscent of the Soviet era dominating the landscape. Despite its remoteness, Barentsburg boasts surprising amenities, including a heated seawater swimming pool, a school, and even a brewery. Its residents live amid the tundra climate, with winter temperatures dropping to 15 degrees. The town is also a hub for scientific research and is home to the Pomor Museum. Tiksi is a small Arctic settlement with a population of around 4,600, situated along the Laptov Sea in Siberia. Once a crucial Soviet base for Arctic exploration, much of the town is now abandoned, and many residents have left. Nevertheless, a small community remains, enduring a tundra climate and more than 2 months of polar night each year. Access is limited, mainly by air from Yakutsk or by sea during the brief summer shipping season. Tiksi played a strategic role during the Cold War as a major port and military outpost. Though long past its heyday, the town endures as a symbol of resilience in one of the harshest and most forgotten corners of Arctic Russia. Utqiaġvik, formerly known as Barrow, is the northernmost city in the United States, located in Alaska's North Slope borough. With about 4,927 residents, the city has been home to the Inupiat people for over 1,500 years. The name Utqiaġvik means a place for gathering wild roots in the Inupiaq language, reflecting the people's deep connection with the land. Known for its polar day and night phenomena, the town is accessible only by air year-round, with no roads connecting it to other cities. Utqiaġvik remains a center of local culture and economy, preserving traditions such as whale hunting and hosting Arctic festivals like Nalukataq and Kivgik. Despite its isolation, it is home to Ilisaagvik College, the only tribal college in Alaska, upholding educational and cultural identity in the far north. Grise Fiord is Canada's northernmost community, located at the southern tip of Ellesmere Island. It has a population of around 130 and is reachable only by small aircraft from Resolute. Its Inuit name, Utqiaġvik, means the place that never thaws, a reflection of the region's severe Arctic environment, where the average annual temperature is 16.5 degrees Celsius. Grise Fiord was born from a painful chapter in Canadian history, formed in 1953 after 8 Inuit families were forcibly relocated by the government as part of an Arctic sovereignty strategy. Despite its origins, the community has grown into a symbol of Inuit resilience. Residents still rely on marine mammal hunting and use dog sleds for daily transportation. Surrounded by dramatic fjords and the Arctic Cordillera Mountains, Grise Fiord is not just an isolated outpost, but a living testament to history and human endurance at the edge of the world. The Arctic is not an easy place to live. Distance, climate, and isolation are constant challenges. But it is in these places that we see the purest forms of human endurance, adaptation, and community spirit. From whale hunting in Kaktovik to safeguarding global seeds in Longyearbyen, from Soviet echoes in Barentsburg to complete isolation in Alert, the Arctic teaches us about unshakable resilience. Could you survive in one of these places?